Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Second down, 13. At the 45 of Baltimore. Brunell back in the pocket. Has a bit of time. Now being chased. Plants throws. He's looking downfield. He's got a receiver. And it is caught. Jimmy Smith at the 5. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Jacksonville. He beats Dwayne Starks for 45 yards.
Barks out for signals. Drops to throw. Has time. Fires the slant. Jimmy's got it this time. 35, 30. Middle of the field. 20. He's going to the 20-yard line. He's going to score. 10, 5. Jimmy Smith. Touchdown. And the Jaguars are right back in this ball game. Barks out the signals. Pressure coming. Steps up. Steps. Turns. Throws. He's got Jimmy. First down. 20. There he goes. 10, 5. Touchdown. Win. Jacksonville. Done under pressure. Steps to avoid. Turns and throws. He's got him in. Caught Jimmy inside the 40-yard line to the 37 and down at the 36.
Congratulations to Jimmy Smith. That is now his 800th career reception, and what a play to get it on.
This team winning right now, it helps bring so much attention to our franchise, what we did back in the day, like we were talking about, these Hall of Fame conversations. But when we're winning, we see the conversations pick up. So we have noticed that. So obviously, I'm pulling for my team to get to this Super Bowl.
1010XL 92.5 FM presents Jaguars Today with your hosts Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Mike DeRocco, and
Hold my pocket.
Dylan Denmark.
All right, D-Rock is here, baby. We are ready to roll. Happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome into Jaguars Today. Mike Dempsey, Tony Smith, Mike DeRocco, Dylan Denmark, and D-Rock. I don't know if it's official, but your new presenting sponsor on Thursdays, Lickety Split AC Plumbing and Electric. So we welcome them on board. And,
welcome.
And you bring the knowledge, Lickety Split. So that seems
Is that how they sold it to him?
I'm
know.
Hoping.
I'm not a salesman, but that's probably the way I would have done it. Yes.
I mean, I look at you and I think you get things done.
You look at me and you think lickety split? Is that what you're saying?
Tony, I got a bone to pick with D-Rock.
Oh.
It comes in this morning.
Here we go.
So when's the draft next week? Well, D-Rock, as we laid out to you and gave you your choice of nights, we opted to go with Tuesday at 7 p.m., yes?
Yes. You, for some reason, and I have looked multiple times, looked again while you were here this morning, I just did not, the email just did not
I don't
come
care
through.
about the invite. I resent it. You got it. That's all
well,
good.
I knew the draft was Tuesday. I just didn't know what time.
Do you not now have another engagement at 7 o'clock on Tuesday?
Only for 30 minutes.
Okay.
That was sort of unavoidable, but that's fine.
That's like half the draft.
No.
We did several of them last year, Tony, in under an hour. Did we not?
We did. Well, that is the hopeful plan. I have my phone.
I'm just sorry we're in this situation.
I will have Wi-Fi.
All right.
Access where I am. I'm not really worried about it.
No one will feel bad for you if you get auto-picked.
I'm not going to get
bunch of times.
Who do you want him to get auto-picked?
I don't know. See, that's the thing. We were talking about it. Sometimes you get lucky when you get auto-picked, and they make better choices for you than you would have yourself, or
I have been in leagues where people who auto-drafted have won the whole darn thing, and it's very, very annoying.
Look, there's a huge luck element to it, right?
No one ever wants to admit
and
that,
there's a
but
big
it's
luck
true.
element to it. There's no question about it. But I think luck more comes in like in the postseason because you get eliminated in one given week in the fantasy playoffs, right? Somebody goes nuts on you. What are you going to do, right? But I think, that's where it usually shows up.
What celebs are in that Jaguars Today 2 league? Is Osh in that?
You're in that. He's in Mondays.
He's in Monday? Okay.
Yeah, he's going to be in Monday. I wanted to split up the writing nexus there. Too much power in one league.
Right.
Cristiano is in that league. He was one of the defending champs. He's our South American producer. David Garrard's going to be in that league. And, of course, Tony Smith and Dylan Denmark. What more could you want?
No, I think that's pretty good star power with those guys.
I think
100%.
it's a lot. I will also be in that league, but you wanted star power, so there you go. There you have it. Good morning, Dylan Denmark.
Good morning, Michael.
Did I hear
Thursday.
That? Okay.
Man,
that's
you good?
my headset.
Hey,
I'm good.
man,
I'm
quit
good now.
playing with me. Man, I thought the camera was wrong for a second. The
everything's
audio,
good.
you had your headset messed up. What was it, last week, 2 weeks ago or something?
I think it's the plug, but whatever, man. I'm rolling with it. We're good.
All right.
Just wanted to make sure that
10-4.
We're all squared away. You're all happy. Everything's good in your world, right?
Yeah, we all good in the hood, man.
All right.
We just chilling.
Dylan will be there for 3 drafts next week. 7 p.m. D-Rock. I don't think he has any prior. Although, I don't know. Maybe he does. You going to be double dipping, producing programs?
Yeah. I'll be doing Hack Show. I don't have a life, so I'll get it done.
I don't have a life.
He'll get it done. He's used to multitasking. All right, D-Rock, let's get into 53 a little bit here. Today we'll hear from both Press Taylor and Ryan Nielsen speaking yesterday. But initial impressions, like what stood out to you? Any surprises in terms of who they kept or who they let go?
Like 44 defensive linemen they kept.
They kept 11,
but
yes.
11. Same thing.
It's a lot.
That was I was a little surprised about that number. But, once they dealt Gibson, the question's like, what are you doing at defensive end now? And clearly they're considering Eric Armstead a defensive end, and he's going to be playing outside mainly. So when you take that in consideration, I guess you see where their thinking was there. And, Yasir Abdullah is going to get some time out there as a pass rusher. So that's some, I guess that will help defray some of it, I suppose. And I tweeted this and I saw it and in the season finale, preseason finale, on those plays against the Falcons where Trayvon Walker should have had back-to-back sacks but wasn't able to get it done. If you look, Devin Lloyd was right there rushing the passer as at the end of those plays as well. He's right around the quarterback as well. So I think we're going to see a lot of that as well. So they're going to be able to make up for that. But, I thought, along the offensive line, I did not see any surprises at all. I thought they might keep Blake Hance as well at times. It was either between Blake Hance and Cole Van Lanen, but Van Lanen obviously had the better preseason, so they've kept him.
And he plays the more premium position. Right? And
absolutely.
Either tackle spot is
correct.
more coveted than guard.
They have 5 tackles of their, 10 guys on the offensive line.
So is Walker Little still the primary backup at left guard as it stands now?
I think they would move Fortner in there first.
Really?
Yes.
That makes everyone's
warm. It's not a great option either way because what he played one game there last year, Walker Little did, and got hurt, didn't like it, not a guard, not a left guard, didn't like it, wasn't, and look, when you get thrown into a situation where you've not played before, expectations should not be very high. But yeah, that to me, obviously we've talked before about the whole success of the season hinges on the interior of that offensive line, really the offensive line overall, but definitely the interior. And their backups right now are, a guy who rarely played guard in Walker Little, if you want to consider him a backup interior guy, Luke Fortner, and Cooper Hodges, a guy who's never played in a regular season game. So those two guards better stay healthy.
You hear anything about Louis Rees-Zammit?
Yeah, big time rugby star over in the UK. The UK news desk was just hammering me with emails. I got stuck on an email chain with them. It's a big story over there. It's a huge story over there.
And the story is he's apparently going to sign with the Jaguars practice squad.
Correct.
He was with Kansas City, part of the international player program.
They cut him. Right. The Jags really liked him before. They were all over him early in the process, but he chose to sign with the Chiefs instead. And
not that shocking.
Correct.
I mean,
hey.
Two-time defending champs.
Sure. And there's really not much behind Isaiah Pacheco there either. So
what do you think the Jags look at him as? A running back or a return guy or a...
I don't know yet. To be honest with you, we haven't had a chance really to kind of talk about him. Yesterday was, finding out that he was signing, and I just, found out that they were in on him a while ago, weren't able to get the deal done. So obviously Patrick Murtaugh is their guy, was their IPP guy, and now he's gone, and now they have the chance to bring Louis Rees-Zammit, big time. I'm telling you, apparently a massive rugby star.
He's only 22 years old, so it's not like this is a guy, Tone, who's had a full rugby career and like at the tail end tries to come over here and catch a little NFL glory right at the end of it.
No, and look, the team, when they released what they had done with the practice squad to this point, it was a 14-man team, right? So they had 2 spots that were open, so they were keeping it open for something. Well, Rees-Zammit makes sense. They can bring him in. It doesn't cost them. They don't have to let anybody go.
Right. He doesn't even count on the practice squad because he's the IPP guy. So
right.
They still have 2 spots left. I would expect at some point, maybe another quarterback. Not necessarily C.J. Beathard, but I think that that's got to be another 7 weeks before they can bring him in because of the NFL waived injured rules. But I would not be surprised at some point over the next couple of weeks if they add another quarterback.
Now, if they reach an injury settlement with him, does that change? With
Beathard?
CJ,
Yes. Well, yeah, that's what they did. They reached an injury benefit with him. So
that means he can't re-sign here
until you have to add the time of the injury along with either 3 or 4 weeks. But Trent Baalke said it's 7 weeks before they could re-sign him to the practice squad. So week 7. So by week 7, week 8, if they want to bring him back, they probably could. I don't know that they do.
At that point, you wonder.
Right.
What kind of impact is there going to be?
Look, would he be a better option as an emergency quarterback than E.J. Perry? Probably, but C.J. Beathard's biggest issue that they've had with him is actually when he's played, he's always gotten hurt. Got hurt against Cincinnati last year, hurt again against the he got hurt again against Carolina when he played. He got banged up again in that game as well. So if your emergency quarterback is a guy that you're a little unsure of whether he can stay healthy, if he's on the field in the game,
your emergency quarterback, I mean,
how many times will you have to use that guy?
And that's the point. 20 years ago, everybody kept 3 quarterbacks on their roster, and then somebody figured out we never used the third quarterback on game day. Right? Almost never. Like the percentages is crazy low. And put it this way, they never use that guy because of injury, right? Occasionally, your guys are stinking so much they'd bring the third guy in and give him a shot to mop up or whatever the case. But in terms of being forced to use him, it was like 1% of the time, less than 1% of the time. So people are like, why are we dedicating a roster spot to
what
that?
was it, the Brock Purdy situation a couple years ago?
Playoffs, yeah.
Yeah, where this whole emergency quarterback thing
reared
its ugly head
it
again.
Can happen.
But how many? I mean, that was one time in the last how many years?
And they fooled around with the rules on that kind of stuff, right? Like you could have that emergency quarterback that was available, but if he went in the game, you can't put another quarterback back in.
Right.
They now have to play.
If you put him in before the fourth quarter.
Right. And so that's when you would have like 2 quarterbacks got hurt in a game in the second quarter, and they're like, well, one of them is probably going to be back for the next series, send in the punter or whoever, right, to take a snap or two. We saw that every now and then in the NFL. So
Tom Tupa used to line up and take some of those quarterback snaps.
That's a name from the past. Well done.
Well, I mean,
I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he was the Jets punter, but I guess he had probably played some quarterback at some point in his, collegiate career or something coming up. I don't know, whatever the case was. But anyway, all right, we got D-Rock in studio. We've got Press Taylor and Ryan Nielsen both to hear from today. We'll continue to look at this 53-man roster and other moves the Jaguars might make. What does Mike DiRocco think? Is this roster set? Or is there a move or two to be made before the opener against the Miami Dolphins? If you want to get in today and share your thoughts on any number of things, you know the ways to do it, and we'll lay those out here. Oh, the photos are coming in. You see the one Demetrius sent in of you a moment ago? That is a handsome one.
That's the Peyton Manning one.
I don't know. I mean, people just think you're a handsome guy, and they've got a lot of photos of you saved to their phone, ready
keep
to
our receipts.
Tweet at the moment's notice.
That's the more disturbing part for me, that there are people that have photos of me saved to their phone.
Ready to go.
That are not related to me.
D-Rock file.
Yes.
Yeah, how about this?
That are not related to me. I'm not even sure if my wife has photos of me saved to her phone.
Yeah, fair question, I don't know. I'm not a big photo on the phone guy.
No.
To be honest with you.
I take a ton of photos on my phone.
I mean, I take some photos, but I guess I don't, I've got photos and at the house.
I don't ever think about it. Like, I'll leave a place and been like, oh, I could have taken a photo of that. Like, that happens to me all the time. It's like, that'd be kind of cool. But then I'm like, I remember it.
Whatever.
That's
exactly.
fine.
All right. Let's get today's question of the day out there for you. Presented by Chad and Sandy Real Estate. Who are your top 3 candidates for overall team MVP of the Jacksonville Jaguars in 2024? The reason we did it this way, and you can do it any way you like, but I assume a lot of people, not everyone, but a lot of people would have Trevor Lawrence and Josh Hines Allen. So then we made it 3, so at least we'll get a third name in there. If you want to just say, hey, let's leave the obvious guys off the list. Here are 3 candidates. We can go that route as well, and we'll discuss those a little bit later on in the show. But you can hit us up at 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone line. Same number for the text line, designed by Lifetime Enclosures. Hop in the YouTube virtual studio and chat away in there and give us your thoughts. And You can hit us up on social media as well, at MD_1010XL, at 1010XL Fat Tony, at ESPN Duraco, and at 1010XL Denmark.
Ain't no laws when you're drinking claws, baby.
You're listening to Jaguars Today. Keep it right here on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today. You're at the home of the Jaguars in the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
What are you doing here?
Radio. 1010XL.
And that's how you spell it.
1010XL. 1010XL. Now, the Florida State Seminole Report, brought to you by your local Ag Pro, your home team.
Kicker Ryan Fitzgerald and defensive back Shaheem Brown earned ACC Player of the Week honors following Florida State's season opener against Georgia Tech. Fitzgerald's 59-yard field goal tied the game on the final play of the first half and was the longest made field goal in a conference game in ACC history. Brown in that contest set a career high with 13 tackles. I'm RJ Saunders with your Ag Pro Seminole Report.
AgPro has been family-owned and operated for over 64 years. We take pride in developing long-lasting relationships and offering first-class customer service. Need a new tractor, parts for your used equipment, or reliable service? AgPro has you covered. AgPro is here to serve you and your operation as your hometown dealer. Visit us today at any of our AgPro locations or go online to agproco.com to get started with your AgPro experience.
Jennifer, Luxury has a new address in Jacksonville.
Oh, do tell, John.
Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard. We've got over 40 Cadillac Lyrics in stock.
40? That's incredible. Any color you want?
You bet. Pick your color and drive away today. Plus, we're giving away a free home charger with every Lyric.
Fantastic. Anything else?
How about a car you'll never have to change the oil on?
No oil changes ever? Now that's luxury.
Randy Marion Cadillac, where Jacksonville meets luxury.
Visit us today on Southside Boulevard and tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Mark Watson here to tell you a little bit about hardballcreative.com. It's your online promo haven with thousands of ideas on how to promote your company. We're open 24/7, 365.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all. You're locked into Jaguars Today Thursday with Cannons of Jacksonville.
If you're looking for the best in indoor air quality, I've got the experts to call. Florida Home AC, the official AC provider of the Jaguars, specializing in the best air quality for your home or work with the Remy Halo. Instead of waiting for pollutants to travel through the ductwork to be neutralized, the Halo cell releases friendly oxidizers every time your fan blows air, helping those in your home that suffer from allergies and other respiratory issues. Call 777-4300 for Florida Home AC and start enjoying cool comfort and clean air.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
We could call them helmets and cleats, but they don't wear cleats.
Those shoes are hot.
Mia O'Brien, Lauren Brooks, and Taylor Dahl.
From the First Coast Lighting Studios at 1010XL.
Weekdays noon to 2.
You think you could join us? Lauren Brooks here to congratulate my friends at Big Chief Tire. For the 5th year in a row, Big Chief Tire was named the best tire center in Jacksonville for excellence in tire services. Big Chief Tire has served the Jacksonville community for over 60 years with quality tires, brakes, repairs, alignments, and more. Big Chief is known for fair prices and honest service, and they've built a reputation for treating customers like family and offering reliable solutions to keep vehicles safe and running smoothly. Visit BigChiefService.com.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband and wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
Joe C. for Preferred Roofing, reminding you your roof is more than just felt and shingles. It's a system that not only keeps your home dry, but also impacts your heating and cooling bills. Preferred Roofing and Construction is a GAF Master Elite roofing contractor lauded for having the ability to educate and inform homeowners on their options. Why GAF and Preferred Roofing? They're veteran-owned and operated with ties to Duval for decades. A family business ready to make sure your family has a good roof over its head. Log on, preferredroofingjax.com.
Baloo for Shinatri Chiropractic. They've helped me get rid of my headaches and pain in my neck and back. Are you suffering from an auto accident? What about TMJ pain? Headaches associated with jaw clenching, grinding of the teeth, or stress-related disorders? Shinatri Chiropractic has a physical therapist on staff for rehabilitation, quality chiropractic care, dry needling, massage, and acupuncture. Call 743-6700 or go to shinatridc.com.
If you're looking for custom metalwork, look no further than Superior Fence and Rail. Whether it's custom railing, shade structures, or custom entry gates, their expert team controls the turnkey process. From CAD design and raw metal to powder-coated finish and expert installation. When you choose Superior Fence and Rail for your custom metal project, you get a project that's, well, superior. So get off the fence and call Superior Fence and Rail today.
Electrical problems? Call American Electrical Contracting. 737-7770. Small jobs or large, they do them all. Work with a locally owned and operated company that will wire it right at a fair price. It's not just a slogan, it's the way they do business.
This is Corona Premier. Just 90 calories and 2.6 grams of carbs. It's a light beer that... Wait, this is a light beer? But we shouldn't really tell people about... Right, that's why I'm here. Sorry. Corona Premier, unexpectedly, light beer.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
All right, moving along here on Jaguars Today. Mike DeRocco in with us. We are only a week out from the NFL season, but most importantly, the Breakfast Bowl.
Sir.
Most importantly. That's what, that really is why they play the NFL season, Tony.
Are we inviting Taylor back in this year?
I don't know, man. I possibly. She did get her free breakfast last year.
She did.
Anytime, I don't know if you guys did. Anytime I lost, I made sure I bought Taylor breakfast.
I did.
As part of the crew. Did we all do
It was
that?
your breakfast, but it was given
That's right.
to her.
I donated my breakfast to
Are you
Taylor.
doing that again this year, or is that Thursday
know.
going to be the cheat day?
We'll see, man.
Yeah.
We'll see. I might just do it just to make you buy more. But so Taylor got,
Let's bring her back. I'm all for it.
I'm not opposed to it. I don't know what her schedule allows. You know, I'm not the boss of this place, despite rumors to the contrary. Right, and there are no rumors to the contrary, actually. But we'd welcome her back. We're not going to do the listener element. Gets a little convoluted there at the end, trying to catch everybody up and the whole 9 yards. But whatever, we'll have a plan by next week. Let's put it that way. All right.
I'm excited.
You don't have any conflicts at that time. 11:20 next Thursday. Any meetings or anything that you have to, just drop in virtually on the program?
D-Rock one time was at an airport and did the Breakfast Bowl, so I know he'll find a way to do it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Good point. Good point. And if you know what, even better. If you don't show up, we'll pick for you.
Right.
That always
I
works
trust
out
that.
well.
Yeah.
That always works out well.
Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Looking forward to it.
We all are. You can have Elijah Cooks right out of the gates.
Yeah.
Were you surprised that Cooks didn't make the 53?
No. You're the sixth receiver. It's a special teams position. That's what that is. And he's not special teams. That's Tim Cook's job.
Well, I mean,
Tim Jones's job.
Tim Jones' job, right? But they kept him last year.
Right.
Right. And
had the chance to play because of all those injuries and didn't do much.
Didn't do a whole lot. Had 3 catches last year.
I remember they kept 9 offensive linemen last year. Is that correct? How many defensive linemen did they keep last year? Do you remember?
Probably 9 or 10.
Yeah, 9 or 10. That's usually what they think.
11's a big
You're going to ask me stuff about last week, and I'm not going to remember.
I'm
There's
with you, bro.
Zero chance.
You're like C.J. Beathard got banged up in that other game, and I'm like, he played in the Carolina game. It might have been that.
Yeah. Well, and he's on the practice squad. We know last year that part of the reason they kept him on the active roster was they weren't sure they could get him to the practice squad. Right? At least that's the way that it's been talked about through this process. They might have wound up being wrong about that particular bet, right? Keeping Cooks to make sure he didn't get to anybody else. Obviously, that didn't happen this year. They were willing to make him available, and no one wanted to pick him up. He's on their practice squad now. Maybe he gets picked up at some point this year, by somebody. That's
Maybe.
still a possibility, but they're not so worried about protecting that, obviously, or they wouldn't expose him to the practice squad at all.
You got big receiver on your roster now.
Yes,
Right.
you do.
And you guessed right, because your guys that you wanted to get through to the practice squad made it through waivers.
It's always my favorite, like 2 or 3 days before the cuts, where on social media it's like, oh my God, this guy, got to keep this guy. They can't cut this guy. Oh my God. Then they get cut, no claims, and they're back on the practice squad.
I do
It's
think,
so
though,
funny.
fans hate almost more than anything when you let a guy go and he turns into something good for somebody else. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm not even saying that there aren't good reasons at the time to let certain players go. They're not developing your system, whatever. But, you know, like Brandon Marshall, the linebacker, right? It was like a 5th-round pick for the Jags, left here and was outstanding
Productive guy,
super productive starter for like 2 or 3 years for Denver. You know, Quincy Williams has become
Quincy Williams is the
amazing.
bad one. That's the bad one.
3rd-round pick, and they let him go so quick.
How often does that happen? Very rare.
But when it happens to your guy that you invested a 3rd-round pick in.
But Brandon Marshall didn't help them win a Super Bowl. Quincy Williams didn't help the Jets win the Super Bowl.
I understand, but
you
know, look,
could they have used Quincy?
He's a Pro Bowl.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know,
We'll see how it goes.
And look, it happens to a lot of teams. I'm just saying, I think that's one thing that fans kind of obsess about a little bit when somebody goes to another team. Why didn't Colin Johnson? I was getting in the preseason. Colin Johnson scores 2 touchdowns. It's like Colin Johnson hasn't popped his head up in 2 years, and he scores 2 preseason touchdowns, and people are like, why did we let him go?
Right. Well, and the funny thing is, too, is GMs behave the same way. They're like, we can't get rid of this. I mean, what if he shows up? What if the Titans claim him,
fear
and then
of
he's
somebody
catching
else.
40 balls this year?
I
We
hear
look
you.
stupid. Yeah, the teams are very, very leery of having that happen to him.
Did it surprise you that Christian Braswell did not make the 53?
Yeah, a little bit. That one, if people said, hey, what's the biggest surprising one, that would probably be it. But, I mean, what is he, the 4th? I mean, if you looked at there is no depth chart that they released, you know, in the preseason. He was, the starting nickel on the depth chart, which he's not. But, yeah, they kept the draft picks from this year.
Monteric Brown made it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure where they viewed. Clearly, they did not view Braswell as one of their best guys. So if they had kept him, that says to me he's not going to be active on game day anyway. Like, Monteric Brown has more starting experience and has more playing experience than Braswell, so they felt more comfortable with him. And, you know, the Savage flexibility at nickel and safety, as well as they can play Antonio Johnson at the big nickel if they want to, and Jarian Jones can play nickel if they want him to. You know, that versatility on some of those other guys made him, I guess, in their views, a little expendable. But that was probably the most surprising move. But if I'm rating it on a scale of 1 to 10 as surprises, it's probably like a 3.
Yeah, it's not a shocker necessarily, but
There's
I mean,
very rarely surprise cuts.
I think
very rarely.
Well, I mean, it came down to it, and there were 2 or 3 guys that, you know, a lot of people thought Terrell Edmonds would make the team.
I did, yes.
You know, I'm not even singling you out. I think a lot of people felt that way. Some people thought that Jalen Jackson would make the team. I felt by final cut downs that was not going to be the case. But, you know, I'm not a 53-man roster projector. God bless guys like you who are willing to do that, because I'll just wait another week, Tony, and find out who's going to be on the team. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to invest that much into the 51st, 2nd, and 3rd spots on the
I'm right there with
roster.
You. By the way, someone did mention on the text line, so I went and looked. Brandon Marshall played in 2 Super Bowls for the Broncos.
Oh, he did. My bad.
Including 5 tackles in the one they won.
Sorry.
Super Bowl champion Brandon Marshall.
Apologies.
So
there we go.
Anyway,
so they did win the Super Bowl because of Brandon Marshall.
Because of him. Only because of him.
Right. Was that the year that Peyton didn't play in the Super Bowl?
That was the year Brandon Marshall was Super Bowl MVP, I think.
I think it was. He threw 4 touchdown passes as well.
I believe that's what happened. But
Terrell Davis running
the point is it happened.
It does happen.
You know, and he was like a 5th-round draft pick. It wasn't like the Quincy Williams thing stood out a little bit more.
That one's the one that's weird because, like, the one thing Quincy Williams is undersized, but he could run. And that's the one thing teams always talk about, speed in this league. And That was Urban, though, that cut him, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Very wise.
Well, and the
man.
Marshall thing was so quick. You know, he was here for a year. He played 5 games. And then bye.
And the thing, too, guys develop at different rates.
Yeah.
So they didn't see him developing or they didn't like what they saw out of him, so they let him go. I mean, in both cases. But, man, if you've got guys that can run, that is a valuable commodity.
Well, we got a few of those. We got a few on the offensive side, particularly at wide receiver, and we'll get into some of those players coming up next as we'll hear from Jaguars offensive coordinator Press Taylor on Christian Kirk, Tank Bigsby, and a whole bunch of others, including Trevor Lawrence and where he is at and what kind of season that his OC expects out of him this year. Hour 2, we'll get into some audio from Ryan Nielsen, Jaguars defensive coordinator. Question of the day out there for you today is, who do you think are the top 3 overall candidates for MVP of the team in 2024? That way, we're not breaking it down by offense, defense. Just give us your top 3, assuming a lot of people are going to have Trevor Lawrence and Josh Hines Allen. That at least gives you room for one wild card in there. So hit us up primarily on social media with your list of 3, and we'll take a look at those a little bit later on. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today.
From the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL.
Imagine driving a late model Corvette, BMW, Mercedes, Lexus, Honda, Chevy, Ford, and more, all at a fraction of the original sticker price. Visit Vaughn Motor Group's indoor showroom and browse a great selection of dream cars that are inspected with warranties. Before you make your next auto purchase, check out Vaughn Motor Group on San Jose Boulevard or at vaughnmotorgroup.com for a complete inventory listing. If you can dream it, you can drive it at Vaughn Motor Group.
When it comes to towing products, your safety on the road is the priority at Cannons of Jacksonville. Whether it's a heavy-duty tow hitch, trailer frame, wiring, gooseneck, tow bar, or any other towing accessory, Cannons has decades of experience to ensure your towing setup is installed with precision and reliability. Visit cannonsofjax.com to explore a range of products and schedule your installation. Cannons of Jacksonville, your trusted partner for a smoother tow.
Jaguars Today Thursday is hitched to Cannons of Jacksonville for all your towing needs.
Arrested? Got traffic tickets? DUI? License problems? Gun charges? Drug charges? If you've been charged with any crime, call me, criminal defense attorney Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. That's 285-4LAW.
The saying goes, the grass is greener on the other side. Well, that is actually true if your neighbor installed artificial turf. Lauren Brooks here from my friends at Sunshine Turf, a family-owned local company that will take your backyard dreams and turn them into a reality. Caleb can design anything from putting greens to pet runs, and if you have a pool, you'll definitely love maintenance-free turf around it. Visit sunshineturf.info to get a free quote today from Sunshine Turf. That's sunshineturf.info.
Start your week with a Hall of Fame breakfast.
Well, I'm hungry. How about you?
Join Dan Hicken, Jeff Prosser, and Jags Hall of Famer Tony Bazzelli for tons of football talk. Brought to you by Heritage Roofing of North Florida. Monday mornings at 7:20 on 1010XL.
Duval. Jaguars football is officially back. Be there for the Jaguars 2024 home opener when they go head-to-head with the Cleveland Browns. Join us as we celebrate Hispanic heritage and take the field at Everbank Stadium for the first time during our 30th season. Lock in your seats now for the 1 p.m. kick by going to jaguars.com/tickets or call 904-633-2000. We can't wait to see you back at the bank.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Googan Nation, it's Dreamfinders Danny Hicken here to tell you this is no dream. The folks at Dreamfinders Homes right now have an unbeatable interest rate for you. You may not think you can afford a Dreamfinders home. Well, think again. Take advantage of a 2.99% year one rate. I said it, 2.99%. 15 Jacksonville communities to choose from. Find that dream house and take advantage of an unbeatable rate. Move now, literally. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Bueller Air and Plumbing presents Are You Cool?
Today's challenger, an asphalt marketer from Jacksonville, Florida. Meet Sheldon Fish. Today's category, air conditioner repair experts in Jacksonville, Florida.
Oh, I bet it's going to be Bueller.
Your question. Unlike Jacksonville, the Sahara Desert has a complete lack of air conditioner repair experts. What kind of camels do they ride?
That's not really a question about air conditioner repair.
5 seconds.
But that's a camel question.
Pick a camel, Sheldon.
Arabian dromedary.
That's right, Sheldon. Like the majestic Arabian dromedary, the skilled technicians at Bueller Air and Plumbing can repair any make and model of air conditioner the same day you call, making sure you are cool.
They don't spit, do they?
No, but Steve, the new guy, has a bit of a hump.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
I'm with Greg Mackey from Cycles of Jacksonville, and even though you're the place to go for fun, you're also a place to go for generators. People need generators.
And the Honda lineup is amazing. They make the super quiet model, inverter technology, the electricity's super clean. You can have conversations with them. You can back up your whole house with a Honda generator. So we have them in stock, and we're ready to ride.
So you have generators big enough that could run everything in the house.
Absolutely.
Check it out, Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency for generators.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you be active, reach weight loss goals, and find your inner strength while you connect with your community. Family memberships at the Y include unlimited group exercise classes, childcare while you work out, and youth sports participation. It's easy to join the Y and affordable for all. Plus, the Y is a great place to meet a new circle of friends. Visit the Y near you or online at fcymca.org.
For birthdays, anniversaries, or any situation that requires something really special, visit the Kuhn Flowers showroom on Beach Boulevard and select something that you can't find anywhere else. 1010XL's Andrew Gibson here, and that's the direction I head, Kuhn Flowers.
This is Dr. Michael Iorio, internal medicine physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jaguars, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Running back Tank Bigsby, entering his second season with the Jags, was one of the bright spots in preseason, having a 19-yard rush against the Chiefs. Offensive coordinator Press Taylor spoke on Tank's progress.
Yeah, he's done a good job. Tank's a guy that even last year, it's very, very important to him. I mean, there's not a lot of guys that care more than Tank cares. You know, to watch him throughout the course of last season as well, and then attack the offseason program, attack training camp, he just continues to take the steps that you hope to see from a young player, especially somebody that we do believe we'll be able to count on. He's shown that, he's earned that, and we're excited about what's ahead for Tank.
Sound courtesy of Jaguars.com. I'm Molly McDonald with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars Update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Work it, make it, do it. Makes us all better, faster, stronger.
Now more Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
Well, here's the downfall of having a fully guaranteed contract for your quarterback. That guy better play well. Deshaun Watson restructuring his contract today, which a little bit weird that they've created like $35 million in cap space for this year. Maybe they want to sign some other guys, give them bonuses, have that cap hit this year.
Well, I was looking on Spot Track, and they already had a void year at the end of his contract, and I was like, well, I know they have to have more than that with the restructure today. He restructured it last year.
Yep.
Like, this is the second year in a row they've done this with him.
As of right now, apparently his cap hit for the next 2 years is $73 million, roughly, each year.
Yeah.
Is that a lot?
That seems like a lot.
It would be if you didn't know the dead cap number.
Right. The dead cap number next year, as of right now, I don't even know if this factors in the latest restructuring, which would only make it go up, I would think. $172 million if you want to cut him. So basically, there's your whole
this year.
Next year, $200 million this year.
Next year, we only have it. Our system has it as 137 next year.
Okay, maybe this does include the restructure.
It might.
At Spot Track, they have it at 172.
Yeah, because we have 201 million for this year.
How many void years does he have?
27 is the void. See, this one is the old deal, so yours might. The one you're reading's probably got the new stuff factored into it.
Either way, it's a bunch of money.
It's going to be the worst signing in NFL history.
And such a panic deal. You know, you wonder what the Atlanta Falcons are thinking because they were going to sign Deshaun Watson. At least that was the reporting at the time. And Cleveland swooped in and said, we'll guarantee every penny in the deal. And that
I know what they're thinking now. Thank God.
That's what I'm saying, right? Like, are they like, hey, you know what? You can laugh at us for drafting Michael Penix. Michael Penix is making peanuts compared to what this guy is going to be making. So, and like you said, he's not good anymore. Put it this way. He has yet to become, since he got to Cleveland, the quarterback he was in Houston before the suspension and everything that came down with it. Don't know if we'll ever get back to that.
No, and that's the thing. People always talk about, or don't talk enough about, the time off. That was a significant amount of time he didn't play. It impacts these guys significantly, regardless of what position you play. That's why people talk about, Justin Blackmon back in the day. Justin Blackmon can come back after missing 3 years. No,
right. That's a long time.
It takes a toll, and this is what essentially 2 years he didn't play. Right?
Correct.
Takes a toll. He's
well, you wonder about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone assumes Aaron Rodgers is going to play at this incredibly high level. He was he went back-to-back MVPs. Then he was good, but not mind-blowingly good in his last year in Green Bay. And then he blew out his Achilles on top of that. So,
and looking at Kirk Cousins' deal, if you combine the dead cap money over the next 4 years, he's still $30 million short of what Deshaun is in dead money this year.
For 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
crazy.
Yeah, and Atlanta has handled it much better than Cleveland has handled it, is the bottom line. Let's hope our quarterback lives up to the $55 million a year billing here in Jacksonville. Let's get to his offensive coordinator, some thoughts, and started in on Christian Kirk here yesterday and what he brings in terms of leadership to this team, highlighted by, the camp scuffle where he went in to protect his guy, didn't like the shot that was taken. And so yesterday, Press Taylor was just asked to weigh in on Christian Kirk and what he does beyond the X's and O's.
Well, I think just that's who Christian is. I mean, and it was more, I don't think that was the level of physicality we were looking for in that instance with just Jags on Jags, basically was how it was going. And I think Christian, as a veteran, understands that. Honestly, I know a lot of people didn't see it, so they wouldn't know, but that was as good of a camp scuffle as you can have. I mean, it was Christian came up, pushed somebody in the back, and from there it was more just people pulling people out of a pile. There were no cheap shots. There was nothing out of the ordinary from that standpoint. Nobody did anything dirty. It was more, I think a message was kind of sent of that's not what we do. And then from there it was a very clean scuffle, as you put it. So I thought, I applauded Christian for Christian's leadership in that moment. And the coolest thing, and I told the offense this the very next day when we met, was I stayed in there after practice, kind of watching guys finish practice. I watched Christian go grab Buster Brown, talk to Buster Brown man-to-man, have a conversation. That's not the expectations. Nothing spilled into the locker room. So I think from that standpoint, that part of the leadership is what makes it even better. More than he was there for his guy, he was the first one to respond, that type of thing, but then handles it the right way with maturity, leadership, a conversation with Buster, and it never spilled into anything beyond that. And so I think that was just a great move of leadership by Christian Kirk.
Yeah, look, they love a camp scuffle. They don't like a camp brawl necessarily, but a camp scuffle, right? Guys got a lot of testosterone. You want to show leadership. You want to have your guys back, all these things. Nobody got hurt. Nobody's throwing haymakers out there. Mike, on Christian Kirk's calf, any concern whatsoever that he'll be ready to go for opening day?
Not at all. Not at all. Should be all set to go. And that's why they shut him down, to make sure that it would not be a problem.
Absolutely.
And, he looks running around.
Looks
last
fine.
couple of days, looks fine.
Is there anybody, who would, if anyone, has the lingering issues that you're keeping an eye on over the next 10 days?
Probably Daniel Thomas, maybe. But they're
it does get interesting if Daniel
remarkably
Thomas
healthy.
Right. If Daniel Thomas were unable to go, you wonder if they would bring up like Terrell Edmonds, somebody like that for the opener. I'm not saying him necessarily specifically,
Daniel
but
Thomas, special teams.
Right.
Special teams is where Thomas's main role
Understood,
is.
but otherwise you're sitting there, you have your two starters, and if Savage is playing nickel, you literally have no safeties on the bench.
Yeah.
And you don't have winger. You already know you're not going to have that.
Right.
So it's two of your more impactful special teams guy, at least the potential to not be available week one. It would make sense in that kind of circumstance that, if you have somebody on the practice squad that's how you envision them helping you if they're going to be on the roster for a day, is on special teams, and Edmonds seems to fit that bill for the team, that it would be the direction they'd want to go.
Just one quick note on availability for week one. Not that it was unexpected because he hasn't been practicing, but officially Odell Beckham Jr. goes on the PUP list for Miami, so he's not available. That wide receiver core,
they got four guys,
right? They have literally four guys on the roster.
Non-contact right now.
The top two are pretty damn good.
Yeah.
But River Craycraft, from what I'm told, they thought was going to play a big role for them this year. He's hurt right now. Maybe it's Braxton Berrios. So who's the other guy? Is it Malik Robinson? I think
something like that.
They got a rookie.
I saw someone had a chart this morning, and I don't know how good or bad some of these charts you see on some of these things are, right? But they were just ranking teams as pass blocking units along the offensive line for, I forget what period of time it was, but obviously it included last year. The Jags were 6th as a pass blocking. I know. I don't know how long.
Clearly this person has no eyes.
Right. This is not from ESPN Stats and Info, I take it.
No.
What are they basing it on? They saw in what?
I couldn't tell you.
Because you can't look at last year's unit say, oh, wait, so they got 4 of the 5 guys back. Okay, one guy's better.
It has to be over a longer period of time than that, but I didn't catch exactly what the time was. They had Miami at 28.
That's their big Achilles heel.
Right.
That's what everyone down there is saying, that they're really concerned about their offensive line.
Combinations of the concerns for their offensive line and what the skill positions are going to look like how ready 100% to go, especially the top 2 guys on their depth chart. They're going to play. There's no doubt that Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle are going to play week 1 against the Jaguars, but how much does limiting them as much as they've had to limit them throughout this entire process? It does feel like they have 2 guys that they're having to do what the Jags are doing with Kirk, and I agree with you. I'm not worried about Kirk's availability for week 1, but that's one guy. Miami's dealing with 2, and they're both guys that are explosive guys, right? So it is a different situation with Miami trying to figure all those things out. And their offensive line certainly getting better than Jacksonville's offensive line. And I don't think their pass rush is better than Jacksonville's pass rush getting ready for week 1. So I do think there are advantages the Jaguars should be able to have in this matchup against Miami in week 1.
Yeah, look, I think they're going down there and winning that game because of their pass rush against that offensive line, which is no secret has been the biggest question mark on that team. I've not been a Tua guy. I've told you guys that before. I think you can get in there. You can get him to let go of that ball well before he's ready, and you have a chance to make 3 or 4 turnovers there.
You got to tackle in space against this team. You really,
correct.
I'm just saying that's going to be a big factor in this game. You can get the pass rush and everything. They get the ball in somebody's hands on the edge. You cannot miss tackles on Devon Achane. That guy will take it to the house
or
from
literally anybody that they've got.
Pretty much, they're top. I mean, Raheem Mostert, even for a bigger back, he can still run.
Right.
He's got some speed. So they're loaded up with guys, and they're very high on Jalen Wright, the rookie running back as well. And so that's a team that wants to run the ball as much as there's flash around Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. They love to run it for Miami. So, I think that's what they're going to try to do to have some success, because I agree with you, D-Rock. I think it's a major advantage, but on paper for the Jags pass rush going up against Miami's offensive line. What else we got, Tone?
We have Press Taylor also asked about where he's going to be this year. We saw him throughout the preseason. He was calling the plays from the sideline, not something he's been doing, obviously, here in Jacksonville. But the question came up yesterday, is he going to be down on the field or up in the booth when he's calling plays this year? If he's calling plays, that still hadn't officially been announced by the team.
I will do whatever coach wants me to do as far as it goes moving forward. I did enjoy being on the sideline. It's fun to just interact with the guys and players from drive to drive, be right there with coaches. Coach Rauscher and I go stand off to the side, hit the next runs for the next thing, which has always happened through the headset, but it is a little different to just go stand side by side with somebody, talk through it, look everybody in the eyes, they come off, things like that. Now, obviously, preseason is a different level of intensity within a game, but yeah, I enjoyed it down there, and it's good. It's good just working through communication on the headset for coaches of who's going to do down and distance. We switched that up as games went along. We switched it up within a game of who's identifying defensive personnel, things like that. So I thought it was a smooth operation through the headset.
All right, so D-Rock, who's calling plays?
Press.
Okay, and he'll be on the sideline, right?
I don't know that yet.
Really?
I don't know that yet.
Why would you experiment with it? It seemed to go well.
But he's right though. It's a different level of what's going on in the regular season than it is in the preseason.
The intensity, the amount of everything is buzzing around
the
you.
Stakes. I'm.
I don't know. It just seemed like they had success. It was like, I get it, you can't replicate everything, but this is your testing ground as much as it can be. I don't put it this way. I didn't see any reason why you go, makes sense that they'll have more success if he goes back up to the booth.
I honest to God, I don't think that where he calls the plays has any impact on how successful that offense is going to be. Whether Mitch Morse, Brandon Sheriff,
then why even experiment with it?
Just to take a look and see if there's anything, if he likes it better. If he feels more comfortable in the box or if he feels more comfortable down there, then yeah, go ahead and do it. But, I don't think Press Taylor's play calls were the reason that offense fell apart last year and struggled last year. It's the offensive line. I mean, it's not that simple, but Kirk gets hurt. Zay's hurt. Trevor's hurt. The offensive line couldn't block anybody. They couldn't run the ball. I mean, who's the greatest? Bill Walsh ain't going to be doing a hell of a lot with that soup in front of him. I mean, it is what it is. Now, the interesting thing to me was they sort of experimented with who was on the headset in the box, who was handling down and distance, who was handling all those other things. So, yeah, it is what it is, but I would be surprised if Press Taylor's not calling plays.
Okay.
I would too.
I think we all would at this point because there's no obvious reason, for Doug in his perspective to take it away when he had a good preseason.
Shad would like him to call plays.
No, but you always have that like that bull back. Once Doug starts calling the plays, you're not going back to Press Taylor calling the plays. And if Doug then becomes, besieged with too many game day duties, or I don't know, what would cause him to not want to have it anymore. You're just, it's one of those things that once you take that step, it's kind of like with Pittsburgh. Like, you're either going to go with the future and see what the upside is with Justin Fields, or you can start Russell Wilson and wait until it falls apart. And then you can go to Justin Fields.
Sure.
It's tougher, I think, to go from Justin Fields to bench him for a guy is not the long-term answer at quarterback for your team.
And I think play calling in the preseason is kind of a weird liminal space, right?
Yeah, there's no game planning.
Right, like there's no game planning. They didn't play in a hostile environment at all in the preseason, right?
Atlanta's
they played
rough,
two home
son.
games and that whatever that crowd was in Atlanta, right, on Friday night. So they weren't dealing with any of those kind of circumstances like they will be week 1 in Miami. Like, it's going to be loud down there in Miami for the week 1 game. So it is a bit of a different circumstance on top of, especially the first 2 weeks of the preseason. There's no game planning at all. You're calling whatever percentage of the playbook you're calling for that night, right? It's like, okay, we're going to try to get these 15 plays in, right? Like, that's how you do preseason. That's not how you do regular season. I don't blame them for trying to take a look at, what's it look like with him calling? We want him to feel what it's like to do it from down here for a game for us. And they've done the experiment. Maybe that's something they go back to, but I expect week 1 that Press Taylor is going to be calling the plays and that he'll be doing it from the booth.
All right, let's take a time out here. We'll come back more from Press on Trevor Lawrence, and then we'll get into some of Ryan Nielsen's comments as the Jags are preparing to kick things off with the Miami Dolphins coming up a week from Sunday to kick off the 2024 NFL season. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios. What's the deal with the show? The 1010XL Podcast Network is now available just about everywhere you find podcasts.
I mean, I think the show's going to be a huge hit.
Search for your favorite 1010XL podcast in your platform of choice.
Looking for a new vehicle? Take a look at Jenkins Hyundai of Jacksonville. Now's the time to save big this summer. Choose from more than 250 new and over 1,000 used and certified pre-owned vehicles on the lot, or shop anytime at JenkinsHyundaiofJacksonville.com. Hyundai has one of the top warranties in the business. Lifetime powertrain and a 5-year bumper-to-bumper warranty, plus 3 years free maintenance on a new vehicle. Give us the opportunity to earn your business today. Atlantic Boulevard, Jacksonville, or visit JenkinsHyundaiofJacksonville.com. Welcome to the family.
Meet Dennis, talking about his experience with BioTarget regenerative therapy at injury care centers.
My first treatment, I actually felt a great improvement. It actually allowed me to dress myself by increasing the range of motion in my shoulder. I did physical therapy for approximately 8 weeks, and it did not help in increasing the range of motion in my shoulder. I've told many people about the results that I had. I thought it was incredible. I'm very active. I do play a lot of golf, I fish a lot, I hunt, I bowl, and it just made it a lot easier with less pain. The pain is more manageable, yes. I don't take medications.
Stop masking your pain with harmful medications. There's a better solution. BioTarget regenerative therapy has helped countless others, and it can help you too. Call 904-92-REGEN or visit GoBioTarget.com today.
Jaguars Today Thursday is towed by Cannons of Jacksonville.
Jeff Lagerman here. Now that football season is here, make sure your ride can get to that tailgate or away game safely and dependably. You can trust the ASE certified professionals at any of the 27 independently owned Napa Auto Care Centers and the quality Napa parts they use. Napa Auto Care Centers can handle everything: oil changes, air conditioning, brakes, engines, transmissions, and more. Napa Auto Care offers a nationwide 24-month, 24,000-mile peace-of-mind warranty on most repairs. Find a Napa Auto Care Center near you. JacksNapaAutoCareGroup.com.
Visionaries, builders, and doers. Are you ready to change the world? Miller Electric is your opportunity to shape the future. Miller Electric is leading the charge in electric vehicle technology with our state-of-the-art EV Innovation Design Center. We're working to create a sustainable future. We're also the proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars, powering their performance at the brand-new Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric, we provide competitive pay, unbeatable benefits. Apply today. MillerCareers.com. Miller Electric, an equal opportunity employer.
Bold City AC, keeping you cool.
Feeling the heat, Jacksonville? Cool down with Bold City Heating and Air. From repairs to energy-efficient installs, we do it all. Family-owned and trusted since 2016, we offer clear pricing, NATE-certified techs, and unbeatable service. Call Bold City Heating and Air today and experience the bold difference.
Bold City AC, keeping you cool. Bold City AC.
Visit boldcityac.com.
Does the building you go to work in every day need a little love and attention? Jason Parker here with Performance Painting. Great companies take great care of the buildings their staff and customers walk into every day. If the building you're in doesn't match the vision you have for your company, we can help. Go to performance-painting.com. Our highly trained team makes the difference. Quality coatings applied with pride.
Performance Painting.
A different path means a new hope for Miami football this season.
Find out what you need to know about the Canes on the Performance Painting Hurricane Report.
Keep an eye on the Canes as they strike back on 1010XL. Prepare, protect, preserve.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to website CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
The flagship station of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Calling all fans of Duval to downtown Las Vegas during the game against the Silver and Black. This is Lauren Brooks from Helmets and Heels. Join us at Circa Resort and Casino this December for the Jacksonville Game Day Getaway featuring an incredible all-in package. Get a 3-night stay at Circa, $200 food and beverage credit, plus a day bed at Stadium Swim. With 6 temperature-controlled pools and a massive screen, it's the world's largest hot tub party. The all-in package is only available until August 30th, so act now. To book and to join the Heels in Vegas, visit circalasvegas.com today.
Veterans, did you know VA mortgage rates have plummeted and you can now access up to 100% of your home's equity and turn that into cash right now? Hey, it's Roger Moore, President and CEO of Loan Pronto, announcing our VA Equity Advantage program. This VA offer can get you $50, $70, $100,000 cash out with no junk fees and no hassle. With APRs in the 5s, you can pay off all those credit cards, personal loans, car loans, and get one easy-to-manage payment. Veterans we help save on average $850 per month. And listen, if you're a veteran with a current mortgage rate over 6.25%, we can do a streamlined refinance with no income verification and no appraisal, saving you hundreds a month. At Loan Pronto, we respect what you've done for our country, and we show it. Call now and ask about our special VA Equity Advantage program. 904-999-1508. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com. 904-999-1508.
Equal housing lender. NMLS 166-1781. Subject to lender approval. NMLS consumeraccess.org.
Here's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. The Gators, having somewhat of an experienced team, should affect the tempo, according to head coach Billy Napier.
We've gotten to a point where I think we can play fast. Our height, length, and speed can be a factor in the game, and be aggressive in how we play.
Knowles head coach Mike Norvell thought his defense was underwhelming in their performance against Georgia Tech.
But their front did a good job in neutralizing our defensive front, which we got to have more production out of that group.
Florida football running back Montrell Johnson Jr. returned to practice this week and is projected to start for the Gators in Saturday's opener in the Swamp against the Miami Hurricanes. The Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp got excellent pitching as they got the win over the Norfolk Tide Wednesday night at home. The Jumbo Shrimp and Norfolk continue their series this evening at 7:05. That's your Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update. I'm Sam Nelson.
At 10:58, it's 86 degrees. Time at 10 brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler, Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Everything you need to know about the Jags. Jaguars Today on 1010XL.
I should point out, Tony, so I will, even though a lot of people probably are going, shh, don't say anything. For the two people, this doesn't include you, D-Rock. Because you had an issue getting your invite to the fantasy league. There's 2 would-be managers that have not accepted their invites yet. I'm not talking about you.
Yeah,
okay?
I just did, so I'm in.
So 2 other people, one in our Tuesday league, one in our Wednesday league. And they have until 2 o'clock this afternoon to accept those invites.
Wow. If anybody has a good idea for my team name, by the way, fire it off on Twitter.
Do you want it to be Gene Fournette adjacent? Well, I'm just asking. It has been in the past.
It has been in the past, but it does not have to be, I'm sure.
And what are your current favorite Fournette classics? We love you, Gene, by the way. Hope you're listening. Good morning to you, sir.
I don't know that I should go into this on the radio.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I kind of think you should.
What can happen?
I mean,
what could possibly go wrong there?
Possibly be
I don't know. What checks would I have to cash that I'm writing?
Do you think it's non-FCC compliant?
Soggy Hood is one of my favorites. Soggy Hood.
What was the...
It was supposed to be Ziggy Hood. Auto-corrected it to Soggy Hood. So that's one of my
Soggy Hood
favorites.
Okay.
So
not bad.
Yeah. I mean, and...
Soggy Stardust and...
Yeah. So, I mean, but Mr., have some fun with it.
All right.
If I like it, If there's a clear one that I like more than anyone else, I may go with it. But if I come up with something that's better, I'll
tweet at ESPN DeRocco.
Sure.
And give him team name suggestions. There you go for his Jaguars Today fantasy team this year.
Keep it clean.
Well, you don't have to make your suggestions clean. You just won't choose the ones that aren't. I'm just saying.
Good point.
That's if you want your team name chosen. If D-Rock chooses. your team name.
Dempsey will buy you breakfast.
No, but I will give them one of the Duval Pride Worldwide T-shirts that we have. Would you like one, by the way? Have you seen the ones?
Are you wearing
I'm not wearing one. By the way, I got
Till We Die.
Yeah,
I just
Duval
saw the
Till We Die. This is
Duval
Bold
on there,
City
yeah.
Brigade I'm repping today. Thank you. Kat probably gave me this shirt.
Yeah.
A while back, I think is what it was.
Last time he came in studio with us, I think he brought those shirts.
So thank you very much. I love free clothing.
Is it a white T-shirt, the one you're talking about?
It is. No, it's
teal.
Off-brand teal.
Yeah.
Right? It's tealish, teal adjacent. It's not more aquamarine. I don't know what it is exactly.
That's funny.
But it's not, it's bright. And it says
awesome.
on the front, it really is, says on the front, the sun never sets on Duval County, right? Which just means there are Jaguar fans, no matter where you go in the world, sun shining on some Jaguar fan somewhere.
Gator Nation is everywhere. Same kind of
concept, except this one's true, okay? And then the back says Duval Pride Worldwide, and it has this gorgeous graphic of Duval County broken down into all the different parts that make up Jacksonville. It's very cool. So if you choose, no pressure, you don't have to choose a team name from whatever submitted. But if somebody wants to tweet at ESPN DeRocco and he chooses the submission you put as his team name, I'll hook them up with one of those shirts that our man Al Stewart, Scarab Y2K on Twitter, by the way, he made those up, and I've got like a half a box of them to give out. So we'll get you one, D-Rock. What size T-shirt for you?
There's one that here is pretty good. D-Rock's Ewoks. That's not bad.
I feel like that's low-hanging fruit.
There's 2 submissions so far, and that one's a leader in the clubhouse.
Okay.
So,
there you go.
Yeah, size large.
Keep
I'll
it
take
coming.
one.
Size large. All right. We'll get that out to you. Let's get a little Press Taylor audio back out to you here as well. Just talking about, I don't know, probably the most important guy in the franchise right now, Mr. Trevor Lawrence, number 16. And Press yesterday weighing in on what does Trevor's toughness mean to this team overall?
I don't think anybody questions Trevor's toughness at all of being able to take hits, respond. There were plenty of times. There were probably 2 or 3 instances last year where we probably didn't know until 24 hours before the game if he would play. And guys knew that. And so then to see him continue to step up and rise to the challenge, play hurt, play banged up, that says a lot. And it's different for quarterback. A lot of guys are dealing with a lot of things. And obviously his is a little bit more public right there. But missing practice and then us not really knowing if he was going to go or not, or guys not really knowing if he was going to go or not. I think it says a lot for the way he stepped up. I think back to the New Orleans game, it was truly a pregame decision of how he felt, how he looked, and then to go out and play the way he did early in that game was impressive for a number of different reasons. But I don't think anybody questions Trevor's toughness, at least in that locker room.
We got bigger this offseason, too. That should help with the toughness to some degree, right? He's been willing to play through a bunch of injuries. Well, he's been a few pounds lighter. Maybe some of the weight will help him avoid some of these injuries going into this season. We'll see with Trevor. Trevor, obviously, a very popular answer to our question of the day today, where we're asking who are your top 3 candidates for MVP for the football team in 2024. Haven't seen many lists without Trevor at the top of it.
That's why we did 3.
Right, at least somewhere on that list, and he should be when you're having that kind of question about the team going into the year. He was also asked, I think, by Mike DeRocco, about is Trevor headed towards a leap year, a jump year going forward this year for him, progressing in his career for the Jacksonville Jaguars?
I think so. I think he was on track for that last year. I think the first half of the season he was playing as good as anybody. I don't know if he was getting credit for that. Outside the building, I have no clue. But we were very happy with how he was playing, how he was running the offense, managing games, winning games for us. I think Trevor just continues to grow every single year. Within the offense, just within playing quarterback, leading this team, being the face of the franchise. It's been super impressive since the day I got here, just working with him and to see him grow and step into, what I think you would feel is naturally ahead for him has been really cool to see. And I think he's just going to continue to get better every single day.
D-Rock, if the offensive line gives Trevor, let's call it league average protection.
That's all they got to be.
Okay, if they do give him league average protection, what kind of year do you expect out of Trevor Lawrence?
I think he will be in that conversation. Well, let me rephrase that. I think he'll be one of the top 10 quarterbacks in the league. I think he'll be what he was at the end of 2018. And Press is right. He played really well. His numbers may not have been eye-popping, and I think that's the thing we can't really focus on. Well, he didn't throw for 35 touchdowns. His numbers may not have been eye-popping over that 88-3 start. but I think he had 6 games with a passer rating over 92 and I think 5 over 100. I mean, he was playing really, really well. So what we saw out of him at the end of 2022 and the first part of 2023, he can play at that level all year. And he'll be, at the end of the season, he'll be top 10 in yards and touchdowns and passer rating and completion percentage. And the Jags will be the AFC South champs and playing in the, maybe multiple games in the playoffs. But if that offensive line can be average, and we're assuming everybody, those pass catchers stay healthy, then I don't think there's any reason. I don't see any reason for him not to be one of the 10 best quarterbacks in the league.
Let's hope you're right. 641-1010 on the Garber Auto Mall phone lines. Jason is next in Julington Creek. Jason, you're on Jaguars Today. Go ahead.
Hey, what's up, guys? Love the show. And my heart and house divided when it comes to me, my Jags, my Dolphins. Diehard hometown kid. Love my Jags. Always the Dolphins. Dolphins first and foremost. I'm 50. So I watched both of the teams in preseason. I think the Dolphins are probably a year ahead of the Jags in roster depth and maturity. I think the Dolphins will probably win 10 points easy. But, I love what the Jags are doing. I think I've got some great football ahead from both teams for me for years. I just think the Dolphins are just going to ravage the Jags secondary, and I just think we're deep in the secondary.
Says the lifelong Dolphin fan. By the way, pick a side, okay? You're not a fan of either if you try to be a fan of both. All right, Jason? So before you call back next, if you ever do, get off the fence and come to the bright side, okay? We don't want to hear this I'm a Jaguar fan, but I'm more of a Dolphin fan. Then you're not a Jaguar fan. You're one or the other, but it ain't that. Okay, you can try to split your allegiance in your head.
Drives you crazy, doesn't it?
Pick a side. You're a fan of one. I'm a fan of that. But this is my backup team, and there's my third team over here, and I got this team. And what a shock that the lifelong Dolphin fan thinks that they're easily going to dispatch them in Week 1. I would think every Dolphin fan is thinking, we got an easy W in Week 1.
Well, from a Dolphins fan perspective, since they've been so good the last couple of years, I would guess that would mean that they think Jacksonville's going to finish with a losing record because they don't beat teams with winning records in Miami. I expect the Jaguars to be a winning team this year, and that's part of the reason I'm going to probably wind up picking the Jags to beat Miami in Week 1. I don't think they're very good against the upper echelon teams in the league.
Yeah, this is, by the way, a show for Jaguar fans, not 40% Jaguar fans, okay? I kind of got my toe in here. Just in case they're good, I can claim them too. That ain't how it works, buddy. Not on this show, all right? It's all in or not in as far as we're concerned. All right?
Angry Mike Dempsey.
I'm not angry at all. Look, you've seen me angry. This is reality.
Yeah.
This is what it is, I'm not angry at the guy.
No.
I feel bad for him that he can't get off the fence and make a decision in his life, for God's sakes, but
yeah, we're not an NFL show. We talk about the whole NFL.
Don't be calling back if the Jags go to the Super Bowl, telling you you're trying to take some glory from that when it's not how it works.
Yeah,
I just don't. I do not understand that. I'm this fan. I'm that fan. I'm a fan and you're really not a fan of anything in particular. That's how I consider it. Right? Anyway. Moving on. Let's get a couple in here from Ryan Nielsen, and we'll continue on after the break as well. Asazi Atomawa. I think that's pretty close.
Good job.
I'm going with that. Right? The defensive tackle might have been one of the biggest surprise names to make this 53-man roster. Ryan Nielsen talked about what he did to make the team.
Made a lot of plays. He was all over the place. There was a play last game. He was outside one hash, made the play all the way outside the other number. Athletic player, plays with really good fundamental technique. Really bought into what we're doing. He's done a really good job. Good pass rusher, so a good combination. Still a young player, and there's a lot of upside to him, but his body of work, and we talked about this, the body of work over the time training camp and even in OTAs was pretty impressive. So really happy that he made the team.
Look, you're not going to take a guy like that who just goes out there and had 2.5 sacks in the first couple games. He's talking about plays he made in this game where he didn't show up in the box score necessarily. That's what you're looking for, right?
Yeah.
When the lights are brightest.
Well, and it's not some big stunner that Asazi wound up making the 53 with the way that he played in the preseason and going through training camp. And it's not some big stunner that 7th-round pick Miles Cole wound up on the 53 either. It's not like these guys are making it and we have to let go of 2 really quality football players so that we can make sure we hold on to them. Now, they made the trade earlier this week, and it made space maybe for Cole to wind up making the roster, right? Like, that's the reality of the situation there at defensive end, but that's part of the reason they're willing to make the trade is they feel comfortable with Myles Cole being a part of the roster, the 53-man team for the team. And Coach was asked yesterday about how many reps he expects Myles Cole to be getting as a rookie. As the whole situation changes now, everything's about getting ready for Miami. It's not about how many looks we can get at these different guys. How much are they going to be using him? What kind of role can we expect from Myles Cole here early in the year?
Well, part of the thing with having the cut downs is that there is more time for the guys that are left over, that do make the team. So even though time is cut down a little bit, there's less guys. And so he'll still get the same amount of reps and things like that in practice, make sure he's ready to go on Sunday.
What's the likelihood we'll see Myles Cole active on however many Sundays this year?
Probably not very high. I think he's a project guy. That's what he is. And they did not want a chance losing him because they felt like, I'm sure you guys have played the clip of Trent talking the other day. There's not many
6'6", but granted, yet he went in the 7th round. It's not like every GM in the league doesn't understand these measurables that are out there.
But that goes back to what I said before. GMs, man, they're afraid. They feel like they found a diamond in the rough. They didn't want to take a chance to lose him.
And I hope he's right, by the way.
Right, but I would be very surprised if he's active for more than a handful of games this year.
I mean, that comment made it seem like, well, if you find a 6'6", 275 who can run this, you should be drafting him pretty early,
right.
Well,
literally every team passed on him at minimum of 6 times.
Right, exactly. And that doesn't mean, we can cite chapter and verse of players that it has happened to that have had fantastic NFL careers, so it's just a little bit more of an uphill climb. All right, when we come back, let's get into how they're going to utilize some of that personnel on the defensive front, or at least how you think it's going to go, D-Rock, and what the role will be of Eric Armstead in that, and, which kind of guys out of these 11 are likely to be active on game day. So we'll get into that when we come back. 641-1010 if you want to get on board. This is Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios of 1010XL. Making the ride home a little more enjoyable.
You keep the crew happy and you can't go wrong, eh, Frank?
Well, that's the idea.
The Frangie Show.
Oh, that's good. That's good fun.
Afternoons on 1010XL.
Jennifer Luxury has a new address in Jacksonville.
Oh, do tell, John.
Randy Marion Cadillac on Southside Boulevard. We've got over 40 Cadillac Lyrics in stock.
40? That's incredible. Any color you want?
You bet. Pick your color and drive away today. Plus, we're giving away a free home charger with every Lyric.
Fantastic. Anything else?
How about a car you'll never have to change the oil on?
No oil changes ever? Now that's luxury.
Randy Marion Cadillac, where Jacksonville meets luxury.
Visit us today on Southside Boulevard and tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Are you embarrassed by your ugly, cracked concrete driveway? Need to enhance your home's curb appeal? Stonecore on Phillips Highway is your one-stop shop for all your outdoor needs. Replacing with new stone pavers will transform your driveway into a stunning work of art. Say goodbye to unsightly concrete and hello to beautiful, durable pavers that last for years. Visit Stonecore today and let's beautify your home together. Stonecore.co. We do outdoors better.
You hear that? That's the sound of your water bill tripling. Are you ready to fix the drip? Call DuckDuckRooter Plumbing and Septic Services. They do it all. DuckDuckRooter.com.
Jaguars Today, Thursday.
Brought to you by Cannons of Jacksonville.
This season, check out our revamped website at southernsteerbutcher.com. Click on the Promotions tab and our Jacksonville Weekly Grilling Specials will hit you in the face like a hot route over the middle.
For tasty tips and juicy breasts, choose Southern Steer Butcher.
Expert Automotive is ready to keep you cool this summer. Right now, get an AC inspection or a system cooling checkup. Your choice for only $19.99. Their gift to you this summer is $50 off any service and a free tire rotation with any service. Their ASE certified technicians can keep your car cool without breaking the bank this summer. Call them at 374-3373 to get an appointment today. Expert Automotive. They never sell greed, only what you need.
You're your school, your colors. There's something special about football under the Southeast Orthopedic Specialist Friday Night Lights with Hacker and Andrew Gibson. Presented by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning on 1010XL.
Hello, I'm Malcolm Anthony. I've been practicing criminal defense law for over 40 years. It's what I love to do, what I do well. Stay out of trouble, but if you don't, call me, Malcolm Anthony, at 285-4LAW. 285-4LAW for Malcolm Anthony.
She posted about us just now.
Celebrities can't get enough of Bianna's bespoke skincare line.
She has 147 million followers. How do we monetize?
She needs a social media associate to help her with the hype.
We should repost this. Do we need a hashtag?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. You can schedule and conduct virtual interviews all from your employer dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwood Jewelers. Clayton, you are a sixth-generation jeweler. What kind of watch do you wear?
Frank, I think I've told this story 1,000 times. The watch I wear is a Rolex, and here's why. When my grandfather gave me a gift for graduating from college, he said, I want you to have something that you'll always remember me for. And he gave me a Rolex watch, and some 35 years later, it still runs and looks as good as it did the day I got it, a day I'll always remember. This might be the right time for you to create the same kind of memory, and nothing does it better than a Rolex from Underwoods. Whether it's a lady or a man's, the Rolex Oyster has the classic good looks and incredible durability and accuracy that make it the watch people want to own. And at Underwoods, all of our Rolexes come with a 5-year guarantee.
Underwood Jewelers in San Marco, in Avondale, and at the shops of Ponte Vedra. Underwood's, serving excellence since 1928. Underwood Jewelers.
Hurricane season on the First Coast can leave you in the dark, so why not get a head start on storm season with a home generator system from American Electrical? They've sold and installed more generators in Jacksonville than any other company around, with scores of whole home generator installations throughout North Florida. That's right, American Electrical has been installing and repairing thousands of generators for over a decade in Duval. Keep your loved ones and property protected. Log on to american-electrical.com and see how they can help you.
Hey everybody, Mike Dempsey here for Dandy Foods. Dandy subs and sandwiches. Look, we always want you to think about those great options as you're driving around Duval. But the beauty is, even as I'm dropping pounds, Dandy's got great options for me as well. Told you all about their protein packs, delicious salads that they have out there. They have fruit cups for on the go. You know what they have. Veggie snack trays. You can grab those on the go as well. Perfect, healthy snack. Dandy is the name to know when you're on the go. So stop into a Gate store anywhere around Duval and make yours a Dandy, and do it today.
Hello, First Coast. I'm sure by now you have seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We're an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We're committed to customer service, reliability, and have an unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. From GFL, Green for Life.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Jaguars Today
on 1010XL.
I suppose the show should come with a trigger warning for softest tissue Miami Dolphin fans who lose their mind and start texting a bunch of curse words at us because they got called out for stating the obvious. Mm-hmm. If you're more a Miami fan, you ain't a Jaguar fan, buddy. So
the math on that.
Go call WQAM and see if I care. Honestly,
yeah. Call their Dolphin show that they do for a couple hours every day. That's
Dolphins
a thing,
today.
right?
Call that.
Right?
Call that.
That's got to be in every NFL city. Oh, is it only in our NFL city that the fans of the team even get to do this? Come on, guy.
Yeah.
Pick a side.
Come on, guy. And he did. He goes, Mike should understand. He's a fan of the Jags and the Jets. When's the last time I've been a Jets fan, Tony?
As I said, if he wants to talk to you about the Jets in the 80s.
Maybe even into the 90s, right? It took me a while. I've made the transition.
Yeah.
I gave up my rooting interest. Do you think here's a guy who just calls up, if the Jags play Miami, he wants Miami to win.
Yeah.
Okay? If the Jets play the Jaguars, I hope Jacksonville wins about 42-0.
I'm right there with you.
And I hope that against any opponent.
As you know, I was a Giants fan.
Yes.
And I've talked about it before. My Giants fandom went away the day Eli Manning stopped being the quarterback for the Giants. I was like, all right, that was the last emotional connection of any sort I had to the franchise was Eli. But I'm all in. Duval, man. Like, this is the one. I am rooting for the Jacksonville Jaguars, right?
But it's okay. Sorry, I should have given you a trigger warning right there on that one. At least for the soft-hearted amongst you in the audience. All right, let's go around the National Football League here.
Now, Gems Around the NFL, brought to you by Beach's Jewelry and Pawn in Jax Beach.
The Los Angeles Chargers are acquiring defensive back Elijah Molden from the Tennessee Titans. The Titans are getting a 6th-round pick back in compensation in that trade. New England Patriots head coach Gerard Mayo announced this morning that Jacoby Brissett will be their starting quarterback to begin the year, with Drake May as the backup there for now. Atlanta is trading quarterback Taylor Heineken, I'll get it, to the Los Angeles Chargers.
Heineke?
Yeah. To the Los Angeles Chargers for a conditional 6th-round pick. Zach Taylor said on Wednesday that he spoke too soon on Tuesday about the availability of wide receiver Jamar Chase after Chase arrived for Bengals practice on Wednesday back in street clothes that he had typically been wearing during his hold in there in Cincinnati. So still open questions about when he'll be back on the field officially for the Bengals right now. The Washington Commanders are trading defensive tackle John Ridgeway III and a 2025 6th-round pick to the Saints in exchange for a 2025 7th-round pick from the Saints. Pittsburgh head coach Mike Tomlin announced on Wednesday that Russell Wilson will be the team's starting quarterback. Wilson won that job over Justin Fields. Kansas City assigned running back Samaje Perine to their active roster, and quarterback Bailey Zappi was among the players signed to the Chiefs practice squad, and the Dallas Cowboys have signed running back Dalvin Cook to their practice squad.
All right, thank you, Tony. I just got this text, from a number that I do not recognize. It says, "What time do you get off work at noon?" I'm sure that's legitimate, right? Should I just send him my banking information now? Just get ahead of it, or what? What time do you get off work at noon? They're inquiring. Let's get back to Ryan Nielsen, shall we? D-Rock's just being quiet. D-Rock's like,
I just don't have any.
I'm not going to get into personal insults. Don't worry.
2:45, obviously.
I did. Thank you, Tony. I should have given a time. But all right, let's get into it with Ryan Nielsen. Let's do cut 4 here. Dylan, jumping ahead here, he did mention that Eric Armstead's going to play all over the place, but what was the thought process and how much input did he maybe have on keeping 7 interior defensive linemen?
Combination of everything. We've got some good, really interior players, but then some guys that can flex out and play out on the end, different personnel groups and packages and things like that. So it allows you the flexibility of maybe getting a little bit bigger in times when we need it. But I think overall the group's done a good job, and those guys are deserving of being here, and they've earned the spot. Now it's just let's take the next step and get into game week next week and see how it goes.
D-Rock, Eric Armstead. Loggeman talked about him as more of a defensive end. I think John Oehser kind of agreed with that yesterday. Is that how the team sees Eric Armstead? And if so, how are they going to deploy what we would suspect are their top 3 offensive linemen or defensive linemen, Josh Hines, Allen, Trayvon Walker, and Armstead?
Yeah, I agree with that. I do think that they view him as more of a defensive end, although I'm sure he will line up inside at times, so it's not going to be exclusively out there. And that's really the big question. On the first, third, and 8, my guess would be, and based on, this is just what I've seen at camp as well, I would expect Trayvon to slide inside.
Okay.
Maybe more than Eric does in that situation there. That's where he was really, really good at Georgia, was rushing from the inside. Now, he's become a solid to pretty darn good pass rusher on the edge. But he is long and powerful, and the things that he's learned rushing from the edge will help him certainly rushing from the inside. So that's kind of the way I would expect that. And obviously there will be times when Armstead will be, inside. And look, Armstead's 32, 31 years old. You got to be careful with him, especially early in the season, because it's more important that you have that guy in December and January than in September and October. So he hasn't practiced but a little bit, and he's on PUP for most of camp. So you want to kind of be careful in how much you use him early.
So let's say he's limited to 15 to 20 snaps, right? Which he may be. He's going to be they're all going to be rotational to some degree.
Right.
Like, who is the main replacement for him if you're assuming that Josh Hines-Allen, Trayvon Walker, Devon Hamilton are three of your starters? Who's the guy that's going to get the most playing time? And I understand they want to play 8 guys. They want to come at you in waves and all this, and I think every defensive coordinator to some degree wants to do that, and every head coach probably wants to do that. But who is the guy that you think will be the next most important interior defensive lineman, at least early in the season?
Ooh, that's a really good question. The way Roy has done it. Roy is experienced at it. Roy's solid. So maybe Roy at first. But I do think they want to get Mason Smith in there. I mean, that guy he's different, man. He was mauling people at times in camp, and he's got a little bit more athleticism than Roy does. And I think, we saw some flashes of the way he looked before his ACL injury back at LSU. So I think that would be, those two guys. And then, I'm not sure how much Jordan Jefferson will play early. You're not going to have all those guys active. You just can't. I mean, if you're probably going to have, like you said, the 8. So that means you're going to have 3 guys that are inactive. So maybe like a Ledbetter, Cole, and at that point you're going to have to choose between Assisi and probably Tyler Lacey as to which one of it will be inactive that week. And it also depends on, like the team you're playing.
Right.
If they're playing the Ravens, for example, maybe you keep one extra guy up that week. But that's kind of the way I expect it to go.
And talking about Mason Smith a little bit here, your defensive coordinator, Ryan Nielsen, also had something to say about him, calling him a work in progress yesterday as they get ready for the 24th season.
We're getting there. I mean, it's a work in progress. I mean, that's going to be the same answer throughout the season. Every day what you want them to do is just take a little step. Game 1 to game 2 will be the biggest jump. That will be the big, preseason game 1 to preseason game 2, that was a jump. Game 1, when it's, he's playing, to game 2, that'll be a jump. And then we'll just keep working him, one day at a time, just getting better. But he's done a really good job in fundamentals and technique, playing tough. He can rush the passer now. You see that. We just got to finish on the quarterback, and so we can help him with that.
Yeah, I feel like the Trent Baalke watch is always kind of on that tripwire where even though you're like, you had a pretty good offseason, it's ready to go south at any moment, okay? Even just what is he doing trading Trevis Gibson, a guy that most Jaguar fans didn't know a whole lot about when they signed him to begin with. But I feel like the reason I'm couching it like this is because I feel like Mason Smith has given Baalke some clout with the fan base. Like, there were questions like, hey, here's a guy who's not super productive. Yes, he has the measurables. Yes, at one point he was regarded maybe as a future top 10 pick, but he hasn't been that because of the injuries. Here we go with a Baalke measurables guy again, and then they get him in there and they see him flash D-Rock throughout the preseason. I think a lot of Jaguar fans are pretty happy that they made that pick right now.
Oh, without question. I mean, what was one of the biggest weaknesses they had in interior defensive line play, inability to stop the run? You add that guy, you add Jordan Jefferson, who I think eventually will be a good player. But Mason Smith, man, there's the potential there for him to be, their best interior defensive lineman in a year or two. I mean, he is really, really talented and smart kid, willing to put in the extra work, a sponge. Guys are saying this guy, asks questions all the time, soaks up the knowledge, extra work on the field, in the meeting room, which is exactly what you see. He's got that desire to be great, and that's what all the really, really, really good players have.
All right, let's take our final time out here. We'll come back, maybe a couple more from Ryan Nielsen, but we'll take a look at today's Chad and Sandy Real Estate question today, asking who are your top 3 candidates for overall team MVP? Let's do this. I'll give you fair warning to the panel here. Let's take Trevor Lawrence and Josh Hines-Allen out of it and go the next 3. Whoever you think the next 3 most likely candidates are. We'll discuss that when we return in a moment. You're listening to Jaguars Today on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Jaguars Today from the Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors Studios.
What makes a Honda certified pre-owned vehicle so special? 182-point inspection, 24/7 roadside assistance, first-year free oil changes, and a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty for carefree driving backed by American Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today.
It's the end of summer sale with Renewal by Andersen, energy-efficient, custom-built replacement windows and doors. Save $300 on every window and $825 on all patio doors. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. But restrictions apply, and this offer expires August 31st. Renewal by Andersen, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit rbafla.com for details.
License number CGC 1527613.
The Sunshine State says it all in the nickname. That summer sun in Florida can take its toll on an air conditioning unit and send your electric bill through the roof. Florida Home AC can help you handle the heat with a brand new AC unit with low monthly payments and over $3,000 in federal tax credits on select systems. So this summer, don't sweat it out. Cool off with Florida Home AC, the official AC company of the Jaguars. Call them today, 777-4300, and check out their tremendous savings on a brand new AC system.
You're locked in to Jaguars Today Thursday with
Cannons of Jacksonville.
Are you tired of living with constant pain from torn ligaments or nagging tendinitis and bothersome joint pain? Say goodbye to endless medications and invasive surgeries. Go BioTarget Regenerative Treatment is available only at injury care centers. Their innovative approach helps you recover faster and get back to doing what you love without drugs or surgery. Don't just treat the symptoms, target the root cause with BioTarget. Visit GoBioTarget.com to learn more and schedule your appointment today.
Navy Mutual was created by service members for service members, so we know what it means to serve. Our policies have no active duty service restrictions, so you can rest assured that you're covered no matter your duty station, home or abroad. To go even further, we promise that premiums will not be higher for those who serve in dangerous environments, including aviation, diving, or on deployments. Let us help you protect those you love the most. Learn more at NavyMutual.org.
Start your Saturday with a whiff of the great outdoors.
Captain Kevin Favor here with Captain Kirk and Jeff Loggeman, and we bring you the fresh air of the great outdoors.
On the Nimnit Outdoors Show, presented by Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning on 1010XL.
Homeowners, good news for you. Accent on 4. Listen up. Loan Pronto now has mortgage rates that start with a 4. Prosser here. It's true. Mortgage rates have plummeted. So low, we haven't seen them in a long time. If your current rate is over 6%, you can dump it and lower your house payment big time. Loan Pronto just locked in a homeowner at 4.99% APR. So whether you got your loan last week, last month, or last year, it's time to call Loan Pronto. Even if you're in process with another lender, stop now. Call Loan Pronto. Ask about their zero-cost rate reduction home loan. You can lock in a lower rate with no closing costs in a matter of days, with almost no paperwork and usually no appraisal. And if you act now, you can even skip your next 2 house payments. Call now. Loan Pronto can give you a rate quote in minutes with no hard credit pull and no upfront fees like those other guys. Call 904-999-1508 or loanpronto.com. Call 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781. Owner approved credit, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
Don't ignore unusual aches or new pains down there. Be proactive and get screened at Ackerman Urology for common cancers of the prostate, bladder, or kidneys. Early detection is the key. With 5 locations across Northeast Florida, visit AckermanUrology.com.
Hey, David again with Royal Pest Services. TAP Insulation stands for thermal, acoustic, and pest control. Keep your home cool, noise out, and pests dead. Visit RoyalPestServices.com to schedule a free inspection.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys locksmith service.
Imagine stepping out of your cozy cabin on a crisp fall morning, coffee in hand. A stunning view from your private porch greets you. You spend the day relaxing at the tiki bar or taking a dip in the year-round pool while catching the big game on TV. Welcome to Island Oaks RV Resort, just past McClenny off exit 333. Book your cabin that sleeps 4 to 6 people. A close, affordable getaway with activities for the whole family. Make memories that last at Island Oaks RV Resort. IslandOaksRVResort.com.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving, they can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
This is Dr. Kevin Kaplan, head team physician for your Jacksonville Jaguars. Here's the latest update on the Jags, brought to you by Baptist Health and JOI.
Following the final cutdowns of the roster, defensive coordinator Ryan Nielsen met with the media to discuss keeping 7 interior D linemen and looks forward to seeing them in action during the first game against Miami.
Sure, I think it's a combination of everything. You know, we've got some good, really interior players, but then some guys that can flex out and play out on the end, different personnel groups and packages and things like that. So it allows you the flexibility of maybe getting a little bit bigger in times when we need it. I think overall the group's done a good job, and those guys are deserving of being here, and they've earned the spot. Now it's just let's take the next step and get into the game week next week and see how it goes.
Sound courtesy of Jaguars.com. I'm Molly McDonald with your Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute Jaguars update.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Now, the cool down with Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Keeping Jack's cool since 1987.
All right, you can cool it down a little bit. We still got a nice weekend ahead of us as the Jacksonville Jaguars will take on the Miami Dolphins a week from Sunday. Kind of going a little post-mortem on the 53-man roster cut down. Jags PR tweeting out a few minutes ago, Jags have signed Blake Hance to the practice squad. Louis Rees-Zammit, who we talked about earlier, the rugby star who was with the Chiefs this offseason, and Matthew Jackson, who's a young safety who was undrafted, signed with the Titans last year. So he's got a little bit of experience, but he's a young guy. I believe Jackson and Rees-Zammit would be the only ones who weren't on the 90-man roster on that practice squad now.
And the timing of the Hance signing makes it feel like, to me, D-Rock, that there may have been a team or two that was talking to him, at least about the potential of adding him to some roster somewhere.
Or practice squad.
Right, and it just didn't work out. He liked the situation in Jacksonville a little bit more, so he's going to wind up coming back here. But there's no other reason I can think of to delay that being part of the initial run of the guys that are going to be on the practice squad. It took a day, but he's going to be back here.
Maybe he went fishing. Couldn't be reached.
Maybe. But, if somebody really coveted him, they could have put in the waiver claim. There weren't that many. I mean, you saw a few teams put in a bunch because they're really
Panthers,
bad teams. I think
the Panthers
5.
claimed 4 defensive backs among the 5.
I think it was 4 or 5 total. I didn't honestly take note of the positions that they did. But yeah, they put in a bunch of claims.
Rough roster. They're in Carolina. When you're making that many waiver claims on that initial run of waivers, woof.
Yeah, well, they had their first pick of whoever they wanted.
Oh, I get it.
So, yeah. But I thought the Jags might claim an interior offensive lineman if somebody intrigued them that was available, but clearly the answer was no.
Yeah, I didn't think it was that likely because what's the likelihood that a guy who's not, if you're going to make that move, right, and you've got the 10 that you have here, and you've got some vets, but you've also got some young guys who are growth guys, right, that you don't want to let go of Javon Foster, obviously, or Cooper Hodges. So a guy, if you're going to claim a guy and put him on the 53, to me, he'd have to be one of your top 7 offensive linemen. Right? Unless you just found a gem out there, a developmental gem, but teams don't usually give them away. I just didn't expect the market to be that great. It's funny. We were talking, last night we had on Dave Burkett and Rob Domofsky, your guy over at ESPN.
Love me some Rob.
I should have dropped your name. He would have been so much nicer.
He might have cursed you out and hung up.
But we're talking about basically hey, your offensive line's as good as your starting 5 staying healthy because there are some serious concerns. Even for a team like Detroit, they might have the best line in the league. Get a couple of injuries on that line, it can change the whole picture of it.
And with the signings being done, at least the group right now is at 16. So they got their 16 for the practice squad. Tyler Shatley not on the practice squad. For the Jaguars.
They know they can get.
They know that he's going to be around and
Shatley,
get him back if they want him, but it's at least for now, it's not happening for him. If it comes up, as you said, guys get hurt on the offensive line, so it wouldn't be a big surprise if he gets called in again at some point. But at least for now, Tyler Shatley not going to be a member of the Jacksonville Jaguars for the first time in a decade.
All right, well, we'll see if Tyler may have played his last football in the NFL. He told Hacker in training camp that this would be his last year coming up, or maybe, he'll answer the call at some point. I, quite frankly, hope he doesn't, because that means the Jags have had probably an injury or multiple injuries on that offensive line. So, but Tyler Shatley's had a nice, solid career here, a long-tenured Jacksonville Jaguar. All right, D-Rock, let's let you bat leadoff here. We are going to take the low-hanging.
Ooh, I want to go in the
spots on that line, but some of his impact